What's going on, guys? Phil here with Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube, and Junior, also from Custom Offsets TV on the YouTube. And we're bringing you another episode of What Fits. So if you don't know what this is, basically we explain to you what fits on your vehicle. This time we're covering the 14 to 19 GM 2500 trucks. So this is the Silverados and the Sierras are both in the same category.
If you're wondering where we find all this information from, we have a gallery of over 55,000 aftermarket trucks with wheels, tires, and suspension specs, along with trimming details so you can know what fits, what rubs, what looks good, what doesn't.
So rather than spending 14 hours on the internet trying to figure that all out on yourself or reading through all the forums, we make this like 6-minute video to kind of explain it to you in detail and at a rapid pace. So that's kind of what we do. Also, a thing to mention on these trucks, the Sierras, for some reason, actually have a little bit more room than the Silverados. So there's usually less trimming involved, or you can go a little bit wider, but that's that. We'll jump into then what fits. We're basically gonna break it down into a leveling kit, a small lift, and a large lift is what we typically do.
Small lift.
However, on these trucks, basically nobody runs like a 4-inch lift. So we actually are doing a leveling kit, a 6-inch, and then an 8-inch, because there's just as many people running an 8-inch kit as there was running a 4-inch kit. So I figured we might as well go with the big one.
Go big or go home, right?
Yep. So jumping into it, the leveling kit then, most guys are running, there's about an equal number, 9 wides and 10 wides. On those 9 wides, you're gonna see people running like a 295/55, which is about a 32.8 by 11.6, if I can remember the math correctly. So not quite a 33, and then with that, they're doing minor plastic trimming. That's what we use to figure out what fits these, because most people are comfortable with doing a little bit of minor plastic trimming. And then you'll also notice that I only said 9 wide, I didn't say like 18 by 9 or 20 by 9. And that's because the diameter doesn't necessarily come into play when you're figuring out what fits when it comes to how far these wheels are sticking out. Whether it's a 20 or an 18, as long as the width is still the same, they're gonna fit the same. And then 10 wides.
Yeah, so piggybacking off of that then, there's the split between the 9 and 10 wides. The 10 wide dudes, they're doing a little bit more plastic trimming, but still not an extensive amount. And then they're running a 33/12.5 on that, which on a leveling kit looks
pretty good, yeah. And this is a 3/4 ton truck, so naturally from the factory they sit higher.
Yep.
That's why you can run a 33 and a 10 wide on these versus on a Silverado you'd have to do major trimming to fit that, or on a Silverado 1500 I should say. So I think that covers the leveling kit. There's not much else to talk about there other than if you don't understand the 295/55 ratio thing, it can get kind of confusing. Right on our website, on the very top of the homepage, if you're on the desktop, there's actually a button that says calculator. You can just plug in that 295/55 and see exactly what it equates out to, so you can use regular Americanized numbers rather than metric sizes.
Woo!
Yep. So then 6-inch.
Yeah, so 6-inch lift dudes are running 12 wides and 35s, which is kind of surprising because you see that on the 1500s, but people with that on the 1500s are doing more trimming.
Full NorCal, cutting out a whole bunch of metal, cutting off part of their front bumper, because 12 wides and 35s on a 1500. I mean, they fit. We make them fit. That's kind of what we do. It's our specialty.
It looks good, but you're pushing it. Whereas on these, you're doing minor plastic trimming. Yep. And you're good to go.
And you still fit them on there with ease, so it's not super labor intensive. And again, same kind of thing. Talking about 12 wides, doesn't matter if it's 22 or 20. They're going to fit the same when it comes down to your standard size tires. 35 by 12.5 is still a 35 by 12.5, regardless of what size your actual wheel is.
And then obviously, if you go with like a 35 13.5 or something like that, or even like Fury's got a 35 15.5, something like that, it's going to end up rubbing more because the width is increasing. It's more likely to catch on like the bumper or the fender and stuff like that. And I think this truck's a perfect example of that. So Sean with CO2 wanted to run 14 wides. He wanted to run 375/40s, and the SEMA Beaver kind of.
Yep. So these
looks good though.
These are 24 by 14s and 375/40. Yeah. And it's I think there's, what is there, almost 5 inches taken off of the front bumper,
if I remember,
towards the bottom of it. We took out 3 inches on the back of the fender and had to make a complete custom fiberglass cap to go over that, because this generation of the 2500 has a plastic cover that gets in the way of everything, so it's kind of a pain in the butt.
And if you have to get rid of it, it's like, it looks unfinished.
Yeah,
it's weird.
So it can be done. You can go more aggressive, you can go less aggressive.
So what Sean did with this is he actually ran it with 14 wides in these 375/40s without he had the front bumper cup, he didn't have the back.
He had a NorCal, but not nearly to the extent of
not
this.
What it is now.
And it rubbed like crazy. Like you could make like a half turn out of the wheel, and that was
bad.
Jump to the 8-inch kit then. So like I said, there's just as many people running an 8-inch as a 4-inch, so I figured we'd bring you the 8-inch if it's just as popular. It just looks cooler anyway.
And you get like an 8-inch BDS coilover, which like
Pretty sweet kits.
Yeah.
So everybody on there, they're still running 12 wides. We didn't step up to 14, still 12s, but they're then running 37s, and most of the time it's a 37 by 13.5. So they're getting that little bit wider tire, but the same width as far as the wheel goes. And yeah, that's really it. I guess there's not a whole lot to cover there. That's what fits. Again, same thing, minor plastic trimming on there. So if you're wondering what fits your Silverado, there you go. Now, like I said before, there's always people running a little bit less aggressive, and there's always somebody running more aggressive. And this is the part of the video where I just keep talking while Junior pulls out his phone so we can pull up the wild truck. Oh, he got it. That was fast. So we always like to show you somebody way outside the typical fitment range, or just big truck in general. This is a 2017 Silverado 2500 HD Hostile Strikers, a very good looking wheel, 24 by 14 -76 offset with the Nitto trail grappers, 40 by 15.5, and it's on a Cognito 12-inch lift. So truck looks absolutely badass.
And you may recognize that watermark.
Look at that, Mason Poston, our good friend from South Carolina. He's probably down driving around his bagged, he's got a
C10 right now.
Yep.
In the warm weather while we're sitting here in a snowstorm.
Come back, Mason, bring the weather with you. It's cold and gross here.
So there's a bunch of pictures. I think this is a good example of a good gallery ad. He's got photos from like every angle, high quality photos, like.
Which is what we're looking for. Because if you guys want to put your vehicle in the gallery, you definitely can. You head out to customoffsets.com/ad, and that's where we share all of your fitment specs with the rest of the world. Plus, we post it on our Custom Offsets page, Custom Offsets Daily page, all over Instagram. There's a good chance it'll get featured in videos. And yeah, it's just super cool to have your truck shared like that.
You know what's awesome? So he's got 12-inch Cognito.
Yep.
Minor plastic trimming with no rubbing or scrubbing.
Because he's got 12 inches.
12-inch with 40s and 14 wides.
Love it. So if you want to add your truck, like I said, customoffsets.com/ad. If you just need to know what fits your vehicle, you can always do that with the gallery at customoffsets.com/gallery. And that's about enough of me talking for today.
Like, share, subscribe, youtube.com/customoffsetstv.
Sorry, I jumped into it a little head.
That's all I got.
Do the subscribe thing.
Click, click, click.